Hello there, and welcome back to War Thunder. Today you will have 3 gameplays in the Chinese T-34-85 with the CIS S-53 at bat rating 5.7. And this tank, well, I enjoyed it in 3 consecutive battles, and so I wanted to share with you this experience. And, well, I also have to admit something. I get incredibly lucky in this tank. But that's actually something very common. It seems like by default you're always at the right time, at the right spot, and you just get those shots of opportunity where I have a little bit of a difficult time getting the same results in other nations' tanks. I'm not implying here, I'm just not implying here Soviet or Chinese bias, but it's just one of those tanks, right? You just play and you get after a few battles really the hang of it, and you just get it right. There are certain things that really support it, trolley, bouncy armor, and sometimes you also have bad luck. Look at this shot. I shoot here through the muzzle brake. You see the impact hole, but it doesn't actually register. But don't worry, comrade, we turn around and we hear here the Jumbo Sherman and we immediately get rid of this guy. At this point in time, the tank is pretty much stock. In the other battles, it was then upgraded already. Not completely, but I'm on my way to being spared. And this is the stock APHE round, right? So, and then I saw this Hellcat coming. And that's just, you know, whenever I'm in a German tank, I'm never in this position. To just simply wait for it and then calmly pull the trigger. So easy. So easy. And it was actually a hull break. Now, the next thing is that also enemies tend to make mistakes that usually when I am in another nation's tank, I don't see from enemy players. And I have absolutely no idea why. When I'm in a German tank, when I'm in a British tank, I would never get this shot. And I would never have been missed by that guy. I also wouldn't see that guy pushing in and just calmly sticking his gun barrel through the fence so I can easily shoot it. And now this dangerous tank that I would have otherwise a big trouble to really deal with is now completely helpless versus me, right? I shoot now his track. Obviously I couldn't finish him off. I tried to really track him with the second shot. Nice impact hole, but he wiggles right at that moment where I pull the trigger. But it doesn't really matter because I can easily outturn him. He has no chance in terms of maneuverability, and I have all the time in the world. And also I have the luck that there is just nobody behind me to stop me from dealing with this guy, because he just comes right now, right? So that Hellcat also missed me, and then I spot this guy, and I just happen to look in that direction, getting my 6th kill, just like that. It's so easy, it's so easy. And then it was actually my mistake trying to push forward and turn around. And so we begin the very next battle, and this time with a Hellcat kill, because, well, why not? And so we push forwards again. So, I mean, I had also pretty bad battles. When this tank was completely stock, it was really awful to play, because it was slow as all hell. I'm not exaggerating. This tank was really bad. It felt like a Tiger II in terms of mobility. And that got me killed pretty often. Especially when you don't have that APHE-BC round. You know, you can't make the same safe shots as with the APHE-BC round, even though on paper it has a little bit less pen. And again, we're just in the sweet spot, and we can easily turn the tank and the hull and then just get our 3rd kill in quick succession. That's just how it goes with this tank. I'm not kidding. And, you know, it's okay. I feel happy. A few minutes later, again, I calmly waited for this guy to come around the corner. And usually when I'm, again, in another nation's tank, those guys would have hurt me. And also, I come around to the cap, and calmly an M6A1 drives by with presenting his side. How can I resist to insert there a Soviet shell, right? That would have been rude. So I just get so lucky in this tank, and it feels really cool and relaxed. I also watch this shot. While I don't get the one-shot kill on the Hellcat, I get a satisfaction of killing that tank with the machine gun by giving the commander a headshot for my 6th kill. And also, why did that Hellcat not hear me? So now I go into the cap just to decap it to stop the ticket bleed, And I'm pretty sure that there are enemy tanks all over the place. And again, I kill here the T-25 before he actually gets a shot off on me. Usually that's the other way around. I don't know how your gameplay always is, but with this tank, it feels so snappy. When it's halfway upgraded, it's already there where it needs to be. And then when you get the mobility upgrades, it's just a fantastic tank. Yes, the golden days where the hull bounced everything, including Jagdtiger shell, I've been there. They are over, you know, mechanics have changed, power creep, feature creep. In fact, at 5.7 now, you can get up here to 6.7 where there is APDS, stabilizers, autoloaders, heat, hash, everything. And versus the old guard tanks, such as for example, a Tiger II, you cannot really pen them frontally, right? You just don't have the gun. But from the side, it's still a good gun. Now, I made now the mistake to really play the objective. That gives away my position. And from all across the map, now the enemies converge on the cap, because now they know that there are tanks. The A gets now in fact decapped. I missed the shot on the enemy tank, but it doesn't really matter. I'm in cover, he shoots down the tree. This gives me now visual cover, and I want to deny him to get the cap that easily, so I drive into it to block the capping process. And just in time, he actually pushes me. And even though this is a Russian tank and I can get really lucky in it, this time I got unlucky. And then I didn't expect his very aggressive gameplay, that he actually tries to run a ring around me. And he actually does this, despite here missing the shot. But my turret traverse is just not there, and my teammate doesn't see that I'm in trouble, and he is not there in time to really help me, so the T-20 kills me. 7 kills still, and that was a pretty quick, snappy gameplay, right? It just took like, what, 6 minutes the entire battle. I just cut out the few minutes where nothing happened. And now we are here on Ash River. And this battle is now versus the Germans. And it again shows how much luck I have in this tank. And that in other tanks I probably would have gotten killed. I cannot really point my finger at it what exactly it is, because statistically this tank is not really outstanding. There is no real one deal feature that makes it really worth looking at and saying, yeah, that's the reason. But just watch. Just watch. I push aggressively between the caps, and I know here the map has this one weak spot for the enemy team, where for my side it is oh so easy to dictate the entire battle, and it is exactly this spot, because it's oh so difficult for them to dig me out of there. I didn't see the Tiger, but it doesn't really matter. I shot even the machine gun out of accident, but you know, I get still the easy side shot. I mean, German tankers, right? But to be honest, what other choice would this Tiger have? He tried to play the objective. He tried to go into B to cap the point. But the enemy team has just no comparable situation or position. And then I spotted the Panther, and easy kill into the side, nearly across the map. This position is also filthy. Again, it's so difficult to duck me out of here. Then I see this Tiger, and then what have they done to my APA-GBC boy? Yeah, it doesn't pen, what a shame. But it doesn't really matter, because the T-20 then finishes off this guy. And again, I'm not done yet here dealing with the enemy tanks. I know that there are here on the ridge lines. This position can cover A, B, and C. And if you don't believe me, just watch. Just watch. So there is the Tiger, he turns the turret, I aim for the cupola, and it's just muscle memory. I point my gun at the enemy, and the shell finds its way into it. It's so intuitive, you know. With other shells or other guns, there isn't really the right zoom on the magnification for the crosshair. The muzzle velocity is just not there. It's either too fast or it's just too slow. Or the shell doesn't have the pen characteristics. I don't know, but with this shell, it just goes through any angle, you know, and it's just designed to deal with German armor. If you think that I'm exaggerating, no, not really. And yet another kill. They just come in, they just want to get the objective. And now my team is also decapping A again. And yeah, seems like we have lost C now. But again, I got shot, and a blind shot sadly doesn't find a target. So it is really, really rough. The enemy team absolutely don't like me being here, which, you know, I can understand. Then I see the enemy tank, I see another enemy tank, but I have to finish here off the Waffenträger. Beautiful shot, and that was an ammo rack. Beautiful, and that's already the first ace. Then I see movement. What is that? Well, that is, sorry, that was a Tiger 1. And what can they do? Because if they angle versus the rest of my team, they give me flat broadside, and if they angle versus me, well, they are successfully distracted. I don't have to engage them, I just can wait up until my team just surrounds them and just finishes them off. This is such a dirty spot, but this tank and its handling and just everything around it is just exactly good enough to deal with it. Now I swing around and I want to see what I can do about C. And this is also a pretty interesting position, that you have exactly this slope on this map designed to deal with gun depression issues. And this guy shot through the smoke up. And that was just really weird. And I'm thinking about this, okay, I need to angle, and still I get shot. I shoot back and I find my target with this Panther. And yeah, I have to extinguish the fire. Actually, my gunner burned down in the process, but his last duty was to pull the trigger successfully, and that give us enough breathing space so that my team can get a kill assist or the kill on the Panther, and we get the kill assist. 6 kills and 2 kill assists. We survived the shot. We denied the enemy the capturing of B. We supported A, and we supported also C. And so I'm just calmly waiting here. I have to tell you, this tank is fun. And it stays fun. It's incredible. Despite all the power creep, despite all the feature creep, despite all the stuff that has happened in the last half decade, if you think about it, in tanks, especially within the Soviet tech tree, and with the extension to rank 6 and 7, with all the new mechanics, shell types, tanks, this tank still got it. This tank still rocks. I cannot really say it otherwise. Yes, the stock grind, it stinks a little bit, because the tank is really, really, really slow. It really feels like a tiger. I cannot really describe it otherwise. You just don't get up to speed, just like a tiger. I mean, you are not really Churchill slow or Mao slow, but for a medium tank, you know. And then that was just a speculative shot, because I saw some blinking metal and I thought I could really make it count. But can we make this one count? Nope, he was angled perfectly. But doesn't really matter. We don't have to pay any price here, because we just got back into cover. And so far I have not moved really from this position more than, what, 50 meters? And I also really haven't participated in any spawn camping or in any sort of dirty maneuver other than being in this spot. It's a bit lazy, but you know, you get easy kills, and that makes me happy. After all these years, Russian-based technology still makes me happy. Talking about having a good time, yeah, it's actually, it has been a while since I really had a good time, since I had just the few good battles, right? And I have absolutely no idea why that is, aside from T-34-85 doing T-34-85 things. And, you know, there are other tanks that I tried recently, for example, the ISU-152 and the ISU-122, when I will unlock it, to spade those, that will be quite a rough time. Why? Because they are case-made tank destroyers, they have a long reload, and their armor isn't really worth anything, and they are slow. And that is just simply something that is problematic. Make no mistake about this. So not everything that is Russian, right, is automatically biased. No. There are also some trash tanks there in the Soviet tech tree and the Chinese tech tree. So I think I had to make a video about the enjoyment of War Thunder, right? And when you have sometimes a good time, why not really share it? Because that was actually my original intention in this YouTube channel, you know, to show fun battles, to show dirty spots, to show tactics. But because of all the issues that I come across every single day at every battle rating, etc., very often it was just not really doable to enjoy the game and just show what I actually wanted to show, rather than, you know, making a rant here and there. And so, yeah, I think that this is something that is long overdue. A fun battle with a happy napalm. And I think that I will name this video The Luck of the Russians. Despite it being a Chinese tank. But hey, details, right? So I also was pretty lucky here that that this guy shot my engine, right? I didn't lose any crew, but I also was not set on fire. So that helps quite a lot, right? And now again, C gets captured. And this time, this tiger seems to have no idea where I am. I mean, he tries to pop some smoke, but it's too late. Straight through the roof, we detonate his ammunition. And that's our 7th kill. That's just oh so beautiful. And again, this is now the time where I have to ask you simply the question: did I play wrong in your thinking? Was I playing dirty, or was this just using map knowledge and just foreseeing the enemy's movement and just supporting my team successfully? You know, I would be really happy to know this from you guys. I mean, yeah, that was a shot into the enemy spawn, but that was practically from the objective. And, you know, then I redeem myself by trying to kill this guy. Although he angled, I have to aim for the turret, and the gun breach actually absorbs most of the shrapnels. And then I thought that he would unangle, I am a bit too low, and the shell doesn't go through. It digs into the armor, but doesn't really punch through. So a little bit higher, come on, just a touch, yeah, there we go. And that's our 9th kill. 9 kills in the Chinese T-34-85. What a battle, I enjoyed it. And also the previous 2 battles, they were frantic, they were pretty snappy, they were pretty alright. And I hope that you guys enjoyed it. So without further ado, let's have a quick look at the post-battle results. And again, for 2 kill assists and 9 kills, we get 84,000 civilians and 6,800 research points, together with the Survivor and the Heavy Metal Hero Award, and overall the achievements made a quarter of our civilian income. So, I was pretty happy, and I hope that you enjoyed this. So if you did, let me know in the comment section down below. As usual, please give this video a like if you did, subscribe if you want to see more, and we'll see each other as usual on the waves, in the skies, and on the battlefields of War Thunder.